Welcome to Rent TV, the Cancer Show. And I know nobody's gonna talk about this, but Dehaven did another interview talking about Jay Z. Cause Rock Nation has been going through a bunch of stuff, and usually Dehaven pops up, and try to he's gonna try to come up, get a bag, and tell his story. Cause now there's a demand for it. Whenever Jay Z, Desiree, Perez, they kind of going through stuff. Like Barbie Smarter came out talking about them, how they did him dirty, you know what I'm saying? But he was trying to be professional, but you could tell they kind of ruined his career. And then he even hinted at how they set up Tory Lanez. It's like a lot of the dirty stuff that they've been doing is kind of popping out. So Dehaven came out and he was talking about Jay again, and it's like the whole Dehaven and Jay thing. I just feel like Dehaven is responsible for Jay Z, bro. Yeah, there's the whole Jazzo thing, but that's his name. Excuse me if I mess it up. But to me, when I hear the story, bro, Dehaven is responsible for Jay Z. Dehaven created Jay Z, bro. And it's like, if you understand how some of this shit works, you get it. So Dehaven told a story about how he first kind of met Jay Z. They lived in the same building. They might have even lived on the same floor. I could be wrong, if I'm remembering right. But he said one day he was going to school and he saw I guess they had to walk to school and pass I think some Puerto Rican guys. And I guess it was sometimes there was frictions and stuff, like growing up in frictions and stuff, growing up in New York around that time. Um, so he was saying how they used to pick on certain kids going to school, and one of the kids they used to pick on was Jay. So Dehaven came was like, man, he lives in my building. I see him over there. Like, you can't pick on him. So he went and stopped them, and I guess he was telling people Dehaven was, I don't know, his cousin, his brother, or whatever. So they can't mess with him. You know what I'm saying? So he kind of saved Jay Z from being bullied, and I guess they got close after, right? So, and I guess they started hanging out. And Dehaven, he was kind of in the streets heavy and stuff. So Jay became his little brother. Even going into trapping and stuff, he was looking out for Jay. People knew not to mess with Jay because then they would have to mess with Dehaven and stuff. Even when they moved out to Maryland, Eastern Shore, and they was trapping over there, that was all Dehaven. It just seems like Dehaven was looking out for him. He was following Dehaven, all that stuff, until it got to a point where you start noticing the pattern in the Jay-Z story, how Jay always gotta attach himself to somebody for him to be him. It's the same thing with Beyonce. It's the same thing with Lyor. It's the same thing with Dame Dash. It's the same thing with a bunch of these so-called rich billionaires. It's it goes on and on and on. That's the thing with him. He always just got it's like, so what I'm saying is with Dehaven kind of started that with him, where he was with Dehaven, and everything he was off of what, and he was with Jazzo too. Everything it was Jazzo, and he was Jay-Z. Everything he was based on that guy. Dehaven, everything he was is based on Dehaven. Now everything he is based on Beyonce. And all these other, it was based on Dame Dash. And when he left Dame Dash, they made it look like he left Dame Dash and became a boss. No, he left Dame Dash, and everything he was because of some other people, bro. So it's that's kind of the pattern with him. But I always felt like Dehaven made him, even to the degree where everything, even when he left Dehaven and went to start messing with some other people, it was just him attach himself to some other people, bro. That's just how he moves. That's just how he is, bro. Just Dehaven is saying all this stuff about how it's he's insinuating how when he came from jail, like the people that Jay and them was attached to was saying stuff about how bro, you gotta come and be with us. Like, forget the fact that Desiree Perez snitched. She's a government informant and she's been working with the government. Forget the fact that a lot of these guys over here work for the government, work with the government, they're informants. Bro, just come be over here. All the people who are calling us snitches, it won't even matter, bro, because they will never be where we are. They will never be at our parties. We'll never even run into them. And we'll be living good like nobody could touch us. So you were saying like, damn, that sounds kind of crazy. So it's like that's the type of time like y'all are on now. And then like from him going to jail, he couldn't understand or understand why he went to jail. But it's like, bro, they put their arms around Jay-Z, bro. These people put their arms around Jay-Z, bro. And he's talking about all this street stuff, right? And they put their arms around him. They're looking at him and like, okay, this guy right here is the one guy we could kind of take and like, you know, utilize him when it comes to the blacks and stuff, especially with how powerful and influential hip hop is, right? Especially New York being the mecca for it and stuff like that, right? For hip hop. It's like they're gonna try to remove certain people around you from around you. And they're looking at guys like Dehaven, like this guy is really in the streets. He's really like, it's like if a guy like Dehaven is around Jay-Z and like certain things are happening, he's probably just gonna be like, bro, like what are you doing? Like he's gonna G check him right there, like nigga, what are you doing? Like what nigga? That's what you doing now, nigga. Like so, a lot of times they try to remove people from around you that's gonna do stuff like that, bro. Like this nigga gonna talk down or look. It's like what Cameron was saying about how when he went to visit Kanye, and Kanye was like, damn, this nigga Cam is here, like shit. So he does all this spew and all this stuff, and Cam is just there looking at like, what the fuck? Like, nigga, turn off the light. Why the light so dim? Nigga, why you doing that? Nigga, why you saying that? Nigga, why you talking like that, man? This nigga on some weird shit. So it's like, these niggas go over there and become kind of something different. And it's like, and they kind of feel subconscious sometimes when somebody that's like a nigga, like a nigga comes around and they're just looking at it, man, this nigga doing some weirdo shit. Like, what the fuck, nigga? And like, it kind of, to them, it kind of mess up the vibe of the whole room. Like, it kind of makes them feel weird and stuff. Because then these niggas done became something else and shit. So they try to, and especially if you really like in the streets and stuff, they try to remove that from around you, where they might send all these niggas to jail and shit. So Dehaven kind of got the short end of the stick where they had to remove him from around Jay and go as far as to even mess up that relationship between the two of them, bro. Just so now Jay could never go and mess with him again, and like, you know what I'm saying? Where it's just like this nigga's completely removed from the picture. Like they could control Jay more, and like they might feel like Dehaven is trouble, or they might feel like we can't promote you the way we want to promote you with a guy like this around you and stuff. You know what I'm saying? So it's like they gotta do everything in their power to remove Dehaven, the same way they did everything in their power to remove Dame Dash, and they're still doing it to Dame Dash to this day. It's the same way they removed everybody, and then he got with Beyonce on their power couple stuff, and it's like, okay, now he's with Beyonce. Like them niggas definitely can't be around. He gotta be on this suit and tie stuff. He gotta do this. He gotta get political. He gotta do all this shit, and he gotta do it a certain way. So everybody's like, this is our guy when it comes to the blacks, and he's still playing that role to this day. But that's kind of like what they did with Jay and Dehaven. Kind of like he became casualty, bro. So to this day, like when he's talking and everything he's doing, he's kind of trying to tell people like Jay kind of like he works with them people, bro. Like, and you could kind of tell even with Desiree Perez, like that's what they do over there. All of them, even him making that American Gangster soundtrack, like, and it's based, you know what I'm saying? It's based on a nigga that snitched, like but they'll try to find like gray area within him snitching and stuff. Like, and then it's funny how Pusha T claiming to be this big street guy, he's over there too with them now. You know what I'm saying? It's actually very, very, very interesting every time Dehaven speaks. But he's still kind of like moving off a certain code where he be trying not to say certain things, and I could tell he still kind of got love for Jay. And a lot of times, people in his position just be wanting to talk. Like he just be saying, "I just want to have a conversation with him," but bro, he's never gonna talk to you, bro. Like, what is he gonna say to you, bro? Everything he says to you is just gonna expose him, bro. You just gonna see through him and see like, damn, that's what. Especially the fact that you ain't seen this nigga for that long. Like you thinking you gonna get a version of the nigga you knew, but nigga, that nigga gone, bro. Like that's what people don't be understanding. Like you gotta live in reality, bro. That nigga gone. You looking for a version of the nigga you used to know. That nigga gone. That nigga gone, bro. Like it's gone, bro. He's a different person now. So even him, to a certain degree, he don't want to face you, bro. But maybe in his mind, he's looking at it like, bro, that's him trapping backwards, even talking to you or messing with you. But in reality, he probably don't want to face you, bro. Like, cause even the way, even if you don't say nothing, the way you would look at him, the way you would say certain shit to him, it's just like, damn, nigga. He's gonna feel subconscious. He's gonna, you know what I'm saying? Like, and there's nothing wrong with growth, but it's just there's a difference between changing and growth. You know what I'm saying? Like you could change, right? And attain more money, more fame, more everything, more women and all that stuff if that stuff matters to you. And that doesn't necessarily mean growth, bro. It's the same way how you could change and not have none of those things and it could mean growth. You know what I'm saying? So it's like a guy like Dehaven will look at him and just like, yeah, they might see the money and all that stuff, and all that stuff is impressive. The fame, the respect, like that people give them, all that stuff is impressive. But it's like, when you start looking like, damn, nigga, but the shit you traded though to get all that stuff, people who truly like know you, they look at you like, and sometimes people are quiet, but I feel like a nigga like the Haven, cause bro, your little brother is still your little brother, bro. You know what I'm saying? Your little brother is still your little brother, bro. You feel me? Like he can achieve more than you. He can do way more than you. He can like that's still your little brother though. Like, you know what I'm saying? If that's truly your little brother, your little brother will always be your little brother. And if you have a big brother, you understand that too as a little brother. Like your big brother will always be your big brother. You know what I'm saying? Now sometimes people like cross those lines and stuff, and like, but at the end of the day, your little brother will always be your little brother, bro. If you're a big brother, bro, your little brother will always be your. So the Haven looks at him like that's his little brother. It doesn't mean that he doesn't value everything he's accomplished. It doesn't mean that he doesn't think like, man, this guy is taking stuff even further than I ever could or I ever did. Like, damn, that's very impressive. It has nothing to do with that. They could still feel all that way and you still be their little brother. It doesn't mean they're gonna son you, like give you a knuckle sandwich and none of that. Nah, that's not what it means. It just means you just like that's my little brother. So we can have certain conversations. Like just you know what I'm saying? And then even if you're a little brother, regardless of what you achieve, if you know that like that's your big brother, you understand certain conversations just mean certain things. It doesn't mean that they don't respect what you've done. You know what I'm saying? It just means like, no. It's just if anybody gonna tell you that or have that conversation with you is your big brother, bro.